Team huddles are not just good for professional football teams. In fact, when we studied the best organizations in the world, we found huddles all over the place. We even found daily huddles in places as diverse as Ritz-Carlton, the Navy SEALs, and Google software engineers. This discipline, this habit of gathering together, turns out to be one of the key methods that great organizations cascade their vision to everyone. Let me be specific. A huddle, in this sense, is gathering a smaller group of people together. Often it's short enough that they just stay standing the whole time, and they exchange critical information for the next short-term window. It's not a grand team retreat. It's not a deep, long problem-solving session. It's a quick huddle. Well, what went into these huddles? Here are the things we discovered, a simple little agenda that you can follow to make your huddles meaningful, to do what the best do in their huddles. First, they connect as people. There's something about the interaction of people on a team that makes a huge difference. If I know you and know what's going on in your life, even just little bits, it changes the way we work together. It changes how we interpret fuzzy comments. It changes how much effort I put out to help you. Connecting as people doesn't take long. A minute, 2, 3. Everyone gets to share a little something personal. Simple interactions make a huge difference. Simple things like, what did you do over the weekend? And what's your favorite dessert? These simple questions help us see each other as more than just machines for producing work and connect as people. The next thing that they do is update any changes. Things are happening, moving fast. Well, hey, this is new, this happened, we tried this worked, this didn't. Guys, we're gonna tweak this. Small, regular little bits of changes save you from having any big surprises, save you from having hour-long update sessions where everybody checks in on what's going on. Quick little bites. Here's what's happening, here's what's next. Then they assign new tasks based on what's happening and where we're going. Hey, here's a new thing I need you to do. Jeff, can you take care of that? Susan, we need you to solve this. Just make sure everyone knows what's going on. If they have a deeper conversation, the huddle is not the time to unpack that. If Jeff's got a quick question, we can answer it. But if he really wants to unpack what does this new thing mean and the implications, and I have some ideas, the huddle is not that meeting. The huddle is the quick group session. Again, same thing happening before around updates. You're trying to avoid the deep, long conversation. Often this is why we don't even sit down. We're trying to create that pressure, but it's a quick new task. Now, if we need to talk further, Jeff, after the huddle's over, you and me one-on-one, we'll get there. But it's actually beneficial for the entire group to know that Jeff has taken on that new thing now. After you've done this, the next critical piece is to share the score. Now, I'm assuming there's a score, which assumes you've got a clear what. If this is what we're trying to accomplish and you've been smart about it, then you've got some sort of measurable way of knowing how we're doing. Anytime you have an update on the score, share it. Even if there's not been an update, sometimes it's even meaningful just to say, still the same as last time, we're working on this. But keeping that front and center makes a huge difference. In the end, one of the most motivating things for people is to see progress towards a goal, to have a score that they can produce better and better and better results day after day, week after week. So take just a few seconds and share the latest score. Last, take a minute and remind them of your why. Often this is done just by telling a story. Often this can be something one person has to do. The whole group doesn't have to do this every time. But take a little minute and remind them of why. Now, if you're doing a daily huddle, you may not need to do a why story every single day, though if you've got a pile of them, that's awesome. It's not ever bad to do too much why. But if those stories or those ideas or those big wins are not coming in on a daily basis, it's okay to save up and do a why session weekly or monthly. But somewhere in your huddle mix, you want to remind them why. Remember, vision leaks and people need to get refilled. In the end, these huddles, they're a critical discipline of successful organizations, but they're deceptively critical. In fact, it's a lot like physical exercise. You know, if I'm exercising and I've got myself in shape, I can skip a day of exercising. And frankly, that one day isn't going to put me way out of shape. I could skip 2 days. I can skip 2 days next week. I can skip a day after that, and 2 days after that, and 3 days after that. And there's no single exercise session that suddenly went from fit to flabby. But you know what? They add up. No single exercise is going to make me from flabby to fit. But over time, the discipline of again and again and again, but layer by layer, over time, building those connections, updating tasks, reminding them of why, sharing a score, layer by layer. These 5 to 10 minute gatherings can start to make a huge difference in your organization. You can go from out of shape to moving forward fast. You go from flabby to fit, and there's not one huddle that will do it. But if you will be disciplined enough, over time, this will be one of the most critical things in your organization. Maybe it's not daily for you. Maybe the way your team works, you can really only connect like this weekly, briefly. Maybe it's even monthly if you're scattered all over the place. Let me tell you, the more you do it, the more fit your organization will be. In fact, don't even let things like being international work for you. With modern technology, man, you can get your team from India, your team from Germany, and your team in Florida all together talking every single day. And that's not a hypothetical. I know a team doing just that. Because for them, it's not an option to stay connected. It's not an option to cascade this stuff to everybody. They're willing to do the work day in and day out to stay aligned and to stay tight. They're willing to do the work to create that clarity. Are you?